Hello, everybody, and welcome to another very exciting episode of the Save Slot 3 Gamescast. I'm your host, Steve, because we're joined by Massive Daz
Hello, everyone.
and Mr. Craig, being Craig.
Hi, Dave.
Boys, another week has gone by. There isn't a showcase. There's a showcase coming up, so we have to make up our own rules today.
Well, there's endless showcases coming up. Actually,
There's Annapurna, there's Xbox, I think. There's Nintendo Pikachu. There's so much. But before we get to that, Chris, we have got to get a first-class train for £46.71 to the Chris Pengelly news desk. Time for some news.
All the news is from you this week, Dave, and there's 8 items of news you've given me.
Baker's dozen.
Number 1, Tony Hawk's 3 and plus 4 remaster or HD remake or whatever it's going to be has been teased for announcement on March 4th, and it's been teased via Call of Duty, as far as I know. Craig, have you played any Call of Duty to see this tease?
No, but it's on the maps essentially, isn't it? Right? There's an image of a skater or a skateboard, I believe.
Yeah, there's a room on the grind map, and there's loads of boards on the wall, and then there's like a TV screen that's like obviously a skater and it has the date.
Yeah, and there's been rumors hotting up the last couple of weeks anyway. So I guess it all leads to this, right? So March 4th. I mean, it doesn't come out on March 4th, surely, boys. That's an announcement, right?
No, I think I saw Jeff Grubb reckon. Jeff Grubb reckon there's going to be a shadow drop at the Xbox showcase or something. So they'll like announce it, and then they'll do like when it gets to the Xbox showcase in the summer. It'll be like, it's actually out now.
Yeah, it could be interesting. That could definitely be interesting. Although they do need to put 1 and 2 on Game Pass before they do that.
I feel like that.
Call them out.
That'll probably be more likely some sort of shadow drop in the next week or so, right? Like,
yeah, that's something that they definitely need to do soonish if they're going to be announcing this, I feel. Because I still haven't played that, and it looks like an amazing remake, and everyone that I've heard play it has been like, yeah, it's amazing.
It's good. It's hard, hard as sticks. That's what
the best-selling Tony Hawk's game ever as well, supposedly, which is a statement, because fuck me, on the PS2 days, everyone bought all those games, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, probably. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, trying to think what if there was a game that was on absolutely everything that sold. The difference, I suppose, is that it was also on Switch, and PS4, Switch, and Xbox One sold more consoles than PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, right?
Yeah.
Combined, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
We had it on Plus. I'm pretty sure, Pengi. That's how I've got it via that, and it's pretty good, Craig.
Oh, I'm sure it is. There are some great games from back in the day, aren't they? So
yeah.
They all kind of like mold into one for me. Like now, as like it's so long ago, obviously. So it would be interesting going back and playing like 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, because I imagine like it would very quickly, like the memories would come flooding back. Obviously, the soundtracks are all in it as well, right? On 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And the 1 and 2 soundtracks
missing, I think, but it's like
are
replaced by other songs.
Yeah, are incredible. So
Yeah, 3 and 4 was really heavy on the like AC/DC stuff and Kiss and bands like that, if I remember rightly.
Nice. Yeah. So it's exciting. Hopefully it's all leading to something big on March 4th.
Yeah, and then we get the Thug 1 and 2 remakes.
It does make you wonder, like, what they'd do if this does really well. Again, like it sounds like the 1 and 2 remake. What do they do like after that? Do they then have to move into actually making a new game? Because that could be risky, right?
I think they'll do the Crash thing, right? So like the Crash trilogy came out, did really well, was really well received. The Crash Team Racing game came out, was really well received. So then they did Crash 4, which was sort of built off of the Crash trilogy remakes in terms of like it felt like a Crash game as opposed to the newer Crash games. I think that's probably what you've got to do with Tony Hawk's. Like if you've built this Tony Hawk's 1+2 and 3+4 engine that's got the physics correct, because that was all the problem with all the ones that came after, right? It was a bit of a mess. I think once you've got a basis, I think maybe doing it at Tony Hawk 6 or whatever might be the way to go. But you never know, right? They can kind of do whatever they want because obviously it's a Game Pass model, being that it's Activision, so they really can.
And who do we think's making this? Because I know Mike on Game Mess was talking about.
It's Iron Galaxy, I believe.
Oh, is it Iron Galaxy? Yeah, because he was on
Yeah.
about, oh, maybe it's what Toys for Bob have been like working on, but
No, I fear not.
No, it's
No.
Iron Galaxy.
yeah, Iron Galaxy I think makes more sense, right?
Yeah, I think
Because
so.
1 and 2 was the studio that got killed, wasn't it? Like, well, not
Is it
killed. They
High
got
Noon
absorbed
or
by.
something like that, I think.
Was it Beanox?
No, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was either.
I
It
don't
was
know.
they got merged into Blizzard essentially. They became
Yeah.
part of the Blizzard gravy train. So they exist, but they're now making like I guess
Skins for
Diablo.
Overwatch.
Oh, Vicarious Visions. There we go.
That's it.
Who did
Vicarious Visions,
the Crash remakes?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't imagine it'd be them. But yeah, Iron Galaxy I think makes a lot of sense.
It's actually been 10 years since Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Wild.
Wow.
What a mess.
More times indeed. Where there eventually will be remakes is the Pokemon Presents on Thursday, on the 27th.
Hell yes.
Maybe, because, it's Nintendo and Pokemon, so they just remake the same old stuff, don't they? So
God. Says Chris, the Sony fan. I love that people have already, as Craig would say, they've worked themselves into a shoot here by suggesting that all the games are going to come to Switch Online and it's going to get remade. There's going to be nothing. They might show a new trailer for Pokemon Legends. That'll be it. I mean, I'm excited because I like Pokemon, so I'm down. I'm down for more.
personally, I think it's just going to be updates for the mobile games. We're going to see a trailer for Legend, and you might see like a pinball on NSO, and that's going to be it, really.
I'd love Pokemon Pinball to come to NSO. I love that game. Yeah, you're right. We'll see.
Well, I imagine we see the is it the Pokemon Legends ZA?
Yeah.
They haven't really shown that. I mean, they have. Nintendo, I believe, did confirm a few weeks ago that and Metroid are still coming this year, right? So
Yeah.
seems like the perfect place they're going to show something more of that, right? And then people seem to be going on about the black and white remakes. So I feel like people have been going on about for a long time. What would if this is your dream, Dave? What would you want? Would black and white do it for you?
To be honest with you, so like Pokemon's a funny one because, like you said, Chris has very cynically said they are very similar games, right? But being good similar games isn't really an issue. So I don't know. I just want something to play. So I'd personally rather have the old games put on NSO. Like I'd love to be able to play Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald on the old Switch Online. Personally, if you're gonna do a remake or a remaster, Black and White 1 and Black and White 2 are incredibly expensive, hard to buy games. So I'd be down for it, and they are good games. They're one of the few Pokemon games that actually have a genuinely good, somewhat dark story. Like genuinely.
It was the games that got me back into Pokemon / Nintendo for a bit. Really, Pokemon Black and White.
Yeah, and great games. And Black and White 2 is really good as well, and it's like an actual sequel, which is cool. So yeah, I'd be pretty down for Black and White. Obviously, if they're gonna do it, it'll be the same people that did the Diamond and Pearl remakes, I'd assume. So people will be mixed on that. But yeah, it's a difficult one.
They come out and said since that they weren't happy with that, essentially.
No, they were rushed, weren't they? I think is what they said.
Yeah, that they weren't happy with putting them out when they had to.
Yeah, which they really didn't.
They wanted it to be more of a remake than it perhaps was.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, it's one of those. Like, I'd like something. I suspect it will be nothing, but like I'd personally be happy with a release date and a trailer for Legends, Pokemon Emerald, or so one of the Pokemon games coming to NSO, and yeah, that would do me. That would do me fine. What would it take to get
the
you
release
back,
date would be soon? Do you think? Because haven't they confirmed it would be a Switch game as well? So
yeah, and they've done this before. Black and White itself actually came out when the 3DS came out and was a DS game. They'll just stick a big fuck off sticker on the front of it again that says playable on Switch 2, like they did with Black and White. I'm not sure. I think it will be Switch, but because it's Pokemon, I don't necessarily think it needs to come before the Switch 2. It depends entirely on what else they announce. If it's the only Pokemon game this year, then it will be September, November, that kind of time. If they have got these remakes as well, then I think it could come out in the summer. It could even be a launch title on Switch 2 that plays on both. Which
Because
would
didn't
be
Arceus come out really early in the year? When
yeah,
that came? Was it January
January
or February?
27th it came out. It was wrapped
Nice.
around a Resident Evil and a Yakuza game, but I don't know which ones. I'm pretty sure it's the typical January fare, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, I think it's probably my most anticipated game of the year, Pokemon Legends ZD. So I think I said that on that episode. So, yeah, give it to me. Is there anything that brings you back to Nintendo, Pengi? Or we wait for that Switch 2 show?
Yeah, wait to Switch 2. Like, even if this game is coming March, it's out next month, I'm not going to go out and buy a Switch Lite or anything to play Pokemon Legends ZA. I'll just wait until, I get Switch 2 and I'm like, oh, I got Pokemon to play, I got Echoes of Wisdom to play, and stuff like that. Some more games to play on that system.
Hell yeah.
Thing. But that's not the only showcase that's happening, because Xbox announced one with partnership with IGN and ID at Xbox shows happening on Monday evening, about an hour after the Annapurna one. We knew about the Annapurna one, I believe, last week. I think.
Yes.
Maybe
yeah.
not.
Talked about that. Yeah.
So there's an Annapurna one that's happening on Monday at 5 o'clock, and then there's an ID Xbox one at 6 o'clock, and I believe Raw Fury are going to show stuff, which could be like Blueprints, which was obviously at PlayStation recently, but it is coming to Xbox via Game Pass, so I can see that being shown. Will you be watching both of the Annapurna and the ID Xbox one, Craigie?
Yeah, I'll definitely watch one. I don't know if we're watching them live. If they're right in the middle of the day, it's a little bit awkward, right? But yeah, I'll definitely probably tune in tomorrow, evening, maybe in the evening, after work and that. I'm watching both. Is it definitely just a show? It's not like what they did before, where it was like the Twitch streams.
No, it's definitely a show. I think they did it with IGN once before, and they had Damon and Stella's on the stage going we're going to go look at. Let's use the blueprints, and then it went to that sort of thing. So yeah,
I don't think the last one they did was particularly great, though, was it? I feel the IGN one.
No.
I don't think they showed a huge amount of games, so it could be another one like that where it's not that short, where it's not that long. It's 20 minutes, and they just show a handful of stuff, right?
That's IGN. That's what they do.
Yeah. So there's that. Are you looking forward to either from Dave Annapurna or the ID Xbox show, or too much indie for you? Even though it could be a decent fantasy pickup, I guess. Being indies.
I won't watch the Xbox show because IGN actively irritates me. But I'll watch a highlight of it, and hopefully there'll be some cool stuff that's coming to my Steam Deck or something, Pengi. If I'm honest, so
yeah.
I do.
Everything's an Xbox, remember?
Right, and I've been much more of an indie boy. Now I've got my little handheld, so I say little, it's fucking massive. But yeah, I won't watch it live, but I'll grab a highlight video of it that takes all the IGN stuff out. And Annapurna, I couldn't care less. It's not. Is this? Am I right in thinking Annapurna is not Annapurna? It's just the guy that owns Annapurna, and they had to redo it, and because the Annapurna is now not Annapurna.
Yeah, basically the whole team fell out with the daughter or something of the owner.
Nice,
but
nice.
Yeah, but obviously
the daughter took over the company, didn't she? And then something like that, and everyone it all went to shit essentially, I believe. Everyone left, right?
Yeah, but obviously Annapurna don't make games. They they actually are making a Blade Runner game, but they publish games. So they're picking up. They're publishing Wonder Stop, or they published that anyway. So, but then I guess what they pick up and publish now might change.
Because this is going to be the remnants of deals that were made years ago, essentially, isn't it? So it will be coming along in 3 years' time, I guess.
And now the new team might go, oh, we want to publish only first-person shooters or something. I don't know, and who knows? And I think the other lot of the Annapurna team, they were picking up stuff off. Was it a THQ or something that folded, and they were picking up their games to publish? I don't know. Thing. But anyway, loads of showcases. Next news: PlayStation 5 Pro support has been added to Astrobot, think they put Astro Playroom here, but I think he
No,
means Astro Bot.
you have I don't know the word. So what I was saying is the PS5
Yeah.
Pro has been added to Astro's Playroom. So like when you
Ah,
go and get the shit in the little old capsule machine.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
I gotcha.
They've kept it updated
Okay.
with all the new stuff. So every time they release a new product, they've been putting it into Astro's Playroom.
Okay, I
and
did
they've
not
done
know
that
that.
with the PS5 Pro. So there we go.
Okay, that's
You assumed my stupidity, but this time it was not my stupidity.
no. But PS5 Pro support did come to Astro
There you
Bot
go.
though,
Just to confuse everyone that
and
writes news stories, right?
and also this week was the second level with a new bot to unlock, which I have played and did. And it was actually quite hard. It was harder than last week's level.
And am I right in
to
thinking
it.
the bot is from a very, very, very great PS2 game that had a really good
It
sequel?
is. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
No spoilers here, but yeah, great stuff.
And like it's weird now. It's got like the PS5 Pro Sport. I'm like, did that grass look that good?
Oh, it looks so
Or-
good.
so-
Such good grass. The shadow on that
You
grass.
know what I was saying is, it's like I've seen Digital Foundry's videos side by side. It's like, oh yeah, it's definitely clearer that picture and that one. But obviously they're like 300% zoomed in or whatever. I'm playing this level, trying to go quickly and not like fall off things. I'm like, does it look bad? Does it not look bad? Did it look this good anyway? And it eventually did. So yeah, but Astrobot, have you played any new levels yet, Craig? Or are you waiting until all 5 are out? You got 3 more weeks
No, I
to go.
still haven't played any yet, so
No.
I might just end up waiting at this point, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and then play all 5 of them
Yeah.
in one go.
And if they're all hard, it would be 5, just I don't know, an hour of torture or something. That sound of it, but yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got US Xbox hardware sales are the worst since 2020, with a 50% drop year on year. Davey.
They are, yeah. It's another similar news story that I did have to put in because it is actually news. There wasn't a lot of news this week. Xbox hardware sales continue to plummet. Not really a surprise. Then I was very surprised by the actual number. We talked about this. I think me and Chris might have talked about this in a private chat. But last year they only sold 290,000 Xbox Series consoles. I think that was US, but it could have been worldwide. I think it was.
I thought that was Europe. Was
It might be
290,000.
Either way, it was
I
like.
thought it was 2 million worldwide.
Oh,
I thought
it was something terrible, but 290
Yeah.
was the thing, and it dropped from 480. So that might have been Europe, and then I think it's obviously.
Yeah, I think that was Europe.
It's usually slightly better, but like we said, it's in a bit of a weird place, Xbox, because they're not really marketing the consoles here at all. Like you can't really. They're sold out most places. They haven't restocked here anyway. But I would imagine there'll be a bump for GTA because obviously the Series S is the cheapest way to play GTA. I think is probably how they'll market it. But yeah, we continue to be is what it is with Xbox at the moment. I think really.
Yeah, pretty much. Any thoughts on Xbox there, Craig?
No, although you can get them on Amazon right now.
You can get them online. It's going into.
It does
shops.
also,
You can't get. That seems to be the issue.
Yeah, it does also tell me when I go to Amazon, purchased in September 2020. That's
Yeah, I love it when it
feels
does
like a long
that to
time
me.
ago now, right?
Yeah, it's like you go onto something and it's like, what did I go on the other day? And it was like purchased, like fucking January 2020, 2016 or something. And I was like, oh, that was me. I went on to this is a bit of an aside. I went onto YouTube the other day and it told me that it'd been 9 years to the day since I'd started my channel, and I was like, oh.
Nice.
I was like, me and Chris would have started that, like for Pod of War. So I was just like, oh dear, God, we're old. But yeah, Xbox. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh dear, Tales of the Shire has been delayed again to July now, Craig. What cozy game are you gonna play instead in March instead of Tales of the Shire?
Oh, I think I have plenty to play. You don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the second or third delay at this
And
point.
yes-
I don't even know.
I feel it's
a
the
lot, isn't it?
second. I think it was supposed to go on come out like Hobbit Day or something, wasn't it? And then it got delayed to this March, and now it's been delayed to July. So,
Yeah. I think Dave kind of summed it up when when it was showing it. But essentially, it just looks like a PS2 game, doesn't it? Doesn't look
Yeah, it's not been in a good
great.
decade for Lord of the Rings games. I'll be honest, but
No, it does pose an annoying thing because we did have it in our closest to the messy pin as well. So I have to delete that out.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember how many games that will put us down to.
10, I
And then
think,
maybe,
now.
then maybe we'll redo it for shits and giggles in whenever it is coming out because we all went quite low anyway. But after all these days, I don't know if people would want to go even lower. Just looking at it, we had a 62, a 65, and a 69 that we went for. So yeah.
Yeah. Not good. Not good. Dave, what might also not be good is Sonic Racing Cross Worlds from the beta. Apparently you've played it.
so I have played it. So I will cut this out of what I've played later. So I have played the beta. It's as a network test, and now it doesn't actually have a release date. This game, which is funny to me. It's not that it's bad, Chris. It's that
Okay.
I think there's just too much going on.
Okay.
I have got the footage up as we're talking, and obviously I think I put it onto my channel as well. It's one of those. It's nowhere near as good as Sonic Racing Transformed. I'll say that right now. But it just doesn't. There's just so much shit happening on screen all the time, and it's constant.
Right.
Like there's coins, there's power ups, there's jumps, there's obstacles, there's going through the cross worlds, which is like does the best way to describe it is it does the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart thing.
Okay.
So you'll just be
Yeah.
on like a straightaway, and then depending on how many of you are on which side of the track, it will pick which world you go to, and then it'll be a small section for like half a lap or a lap in like a different place, and then you'll zoom back and it'll be the final lap. It's a difficult one because like the controls are okay. I think it's really weird that what's the word I'm looking for, Craig? What do you do in Mario Kart when you go around a corner? Drift, thank you. Is on R1 as opposed to the
Okay.
triggers, and you drive with the X button, the cross button,
Okay.
sorry, and that's a bit strange. Like, I don't know.
Do you not change the control?
Not that I could tell. But
Okay.
obviously, most people use their default controls. You can also create a cart. You can also.
I'm just thinking Mario Kart uses A, doesn't it?
It does,
Or B,
but
whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think to be honest, it just feels better on the Switch controller. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's smaller, right? But there's like a whole mechanic where you have like slots that you can put like modifiers in. I suppose. Like I said, there's just too much going on because the core game is like it's pretty fun, but it doesn't feel as good as Mario Kart 8, which came out in 2014. Like the physics just don't feel as good. And I don't really because I did, like I said, I had it for Fantasy Critic, and I was like, okay, I reckon we'll play this and we'll see. And then I was like, I don't know if this is going to be 71 or it's going to be 89. Like, I don't know where reviewers are going to sit on this. It's a very strange game. Online wise, it's the best Sonic racing game I've played. They've got quite a good lobby system. You can pick the tracks. Like it's cool. Like it's a pretty good, and you'll see it from the footage. But yeah, it's a strange one, Pengi. If it's more than £35, don't buy it. If it comes out as 35, which is I believe how much Team Sonic Racing was, then it might be worth it if you really don't want to buy a Nintendo game. Like if you're only on PlayStation or Xbox or PC, then it's better. It's as good in a different way as Crash Team Racing potentially, depending on what you prefer. But like it's not in the same league as Mario Kart, unfortunately. But it's a strange one. Again, I think watch the footage when I put this up, and then you might be able to be a bit more of a judge of it. Excuse me, but yeah, it's just too much, Craig. It's too much chaos.
Okay. Craig, any interest in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds?
By the sound of it, I shouldn't have any interest. That's probably what I'm taking from that.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those. I think it's not a bad game from what I've played, but it's just chaotic. It's like I said, it'd be interesting of how much they sell it for.
It's an interesting one, like you said. Like I've not gotten it. Well, I've got obviously like my GameCube, but not having a current Nintendo console. And at the moment, I'm doubtful if I'll switch to at launch. So there's no Mario Kart. For instance, there isn't actually that many like kart racing options for the PlayStation 5 or on
No.
the PC. I've already played Crash Team Racing, for instance, and then you got all the like Nickelodeon carts and the stuff like that, which are most probably a tier below the Sonic games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
it's weird that we've never, like, apart from Crash Team Racing and maybe Diddy Kong Racing, no one's really done a really good kart racer outside of Nintendo. Because, others still do other good platforming games and, other good adventure games and whatever. But then no one's ever really done a good Pokemon-like either. But
No. Yeah, and I'd say this, if you're on a PS5, I'd say this is the second best option you have behind Crash Team
yeah.
Racing. It's a lot better than Sonic Team Racing, I will say.
Yeah.
But probably not as good. On PC, play Sonic Racing Transformed. That has the Football Manager character and is £3 in every sale.
Yeah.
What about Chocobo Grand Prix, Pengi? Remember that?
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
That was something on that.
One of your brighter moments buying that one, Chris, I must say.
Hey, I bought it, finished it, sold it, But it was not.
Will you ever get the time back, though, Pengi? That's the truth.
It wasn't that long. The
I was
story.
about to say, it was like
it.
an hour or something on that one. It was terrible.
It was really short, the story mode.
It's only free to play as well. You didn't even need to buy it, did you?
No, the story
demo?
mode was the free. It was free to, like, basically the multiplayer was free, but the story mode and like other races were in like the complete version. So yeah, it's a bit like,
I remember playing it and being like, "This is unbelievably bad. Like, this is absolutely terrible."
Yeah. Yeah, but it was during the 2 years of Switch, and it was Square Enix. So, Yeah. I'm going to actually skip number 7 to go to number 8 a second. Dave, a new Samurai Pizza Cat game has been announced. I have seen the trailer of this, and I believe it's like an 80s cartoon, but I've never actually really heard of Samurai Pizza Cats, Dave.
I've not either. I am playing the trailer for the viewers right now.
Yeah.
It looks funny.
So I believe it is essentially a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles knockoff.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was quite a few of them back in the day.
Particularly fond of Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
That's one I was particularly fond of.
So it's one of those, I believe, and it's kind of got like a Cuphead like style of animation, right? But yeah, the trailer actually looks pretty cool. There is a bit at the end where it shows some gameplay as well, and gameplay looks quite cool. It's like a beat 'em up next to like a run and gun sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got a very nice art style, I thought.
Is this actually the Cuphead team? No, it's not.
It looks good though, right? It looks fun.
Like, it looks like that bit. Like, I'm skipping to it now. The bit where they're showing like the currency and then the pink bullets. Like, that is literally Cuphead.
There's some summons. I think there's a summon menu they show as well, and they also, I think they do kind of like a bit of jest at the start. Where they're like a 30-year-old cartoon's getting a game. Like, what?
Yeah, I'll be honest, that looks amazing.
It looks great,
it does look good, and I have seen a few other places this pop up. But it's like, I don't really want this. It's like,
It says right now, wishlist on Steam. Guess what I'm going to go and do right now, Craig? I'm going to wishlist on Steam.
Yeah, I don't think there's any indication of a date or anything though, right? But yeah, it's quite a cool announcement.
But yeah, it's like, can we get a new Biker Mice from Mars game or Street Sharks or there was a dinosaur one as well. I can't remember what that was.
God, we just lived in the best era, I think. I think these poor kids nowadays, they don't know. They don't know how good life used to be.
No. And the last one, we got a little bit of review roundup. I'm going to do them in score order. So the lowest scored one Dave's put here is Lost Records Tape 1 with a 77, which I think is actually better than I was predicting. I don't actually think we did it on Messy Pim because it's obviously in 2 parts, but I wasn't thinking 77 for it. I have downloaded it and I have not played Tape 1. I'm just going to wait until Tape 2's out as well and just play them back, all of it. What about you two? If you downloaded Tape 1, seeing it's on Plus, and what do you think of 77? I know that's average based on their Fantasy Credit score of the game, but yeah.
I've downloaded it. I plan on streaming it this week coming.
That's going to be hilarious, I guess.
Because you know how much I love games like that. But like you said, it's on Plus. I
Yeah.
have Plus, so yeah, I'll download it and then I will let you know what I think, Pengi.
That could be a very short stream.
Yeah. Do you know how? I haven't seen any reviews for this at all. Do you know how long this episode is? Because isn't it a
It's about,
two-parter?
I think it's about 7 hours, part one, which seems pretty long because I think the whole game is like 10 to 12. So um, yeah, if part one's 7, well, I'm expecting only 3-4 hours from part two.
Yeah, I think I might do what you said, Pengi, as well. I might join you and wait until it's all out together. Because I was
Yeah.
gonna download it and play it now, but there's just so much coming out now that it's just yeah. Trying to squeeze in
Yeah.
6 hours of that might be difficult.
Mm.
Yeah, might and as it's only a two-parter, I might just wait until it's all out and then give it a go then, right?
Yeah, I think there's episodes within like the tapes. I think there's like 3 episodes in tape one by that sort of thing from what the brief bits I've seen of it. So yeah. Next game, score-wise, is Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii with an 80. Um, so far, obviously, we did predict that one, I believe, on our like copy of Messi pin. Obviously, scores could still be coming in between now and March 31st. If you bought this or play anything of it,
I've played the demo
mhm,
because I wanted to see how it runs on Steam Deck, and it
mhm,
runs great on Steam Deck, Pengi. And the
mhm,
game is fun. I still
mhm,
kind of want to play Like a Dragon and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth first, even
mhm.
though they're a different style of game. It's just it's there's so much Yakuza goodness to go around. I feel like I should play as much as possible. And it's a struggle of mine. It's one of my pet hates jumping into series late when I know it's like a long series. Like it really, really winds me up. It's always been a problem. And it's my problem. It's not the series problem. It's my problem. But yeah, it looks good. It is fun. Runs amazing on Steam Deck. Don't know how Sega continually do it because with that and Metaphor and just they're just great, Pengi. They're just great.
Yeah, I also played the demo and put a
Nice.
footage up on my channel. Played it. Oh, again, I also played this on Steam. On one, see how it ran on the laptop. Everything was high. You know, I capped it to 60, but you could uncap it, and like certain bits, like when it goes into. Where do you think when the fighting frame rates would drop? But like, because you get to that little bit of like a bubble of like the arena when you're fighting, like the frame rates were going up to the 144 and not uncapped thing, but obviously running around it, which dropped. So I did 60 bit high settings, looked really good, and I did see it's 35 quid on CD keys on PC. So
Oh God.
kind of tempted, sort of thing. But if I was to get it, I think I would just still get it on PS5 physical, and then play it, sell it, that sort of thing. But I did enjoy it. Have you tried the demo, Craig, or are you just gonna wait until you get the game, considering you like the series?
Yeah, I think I said last week before I'm completely sold. So I don't really need the demo. I'm definitely gonna play it. It's just when because we've had stuff come on the subscription service kind of at the same time. So playing that first, but yeah, I will definitely come back and be smashing it like a dragon. Yeah,
Question
she's a
for you,
pirate in
Craigo.
Hawaii. Yeah.
Are you going to be still getting it on Xbox, or will you get it on PS5 to play on the portal?
So I think it'll get on PS5 because I don't think there's a physical on Xbox.
There is not in
No.
Europe, no.
No.
Yeah, so I think I would just get on PlayStation for the physical personally. But yeah, it looks good. We all went there or thereabouts, I believe, for the review score as well. I think we were all kind of in that ballpark. So it's one of them where I feel like these spin-off games kind of review around that kind of mark every time, right?
Mhm.
It's one for the fans. Is basically every review I saw.
Yeah, yeah. I've not actually
Yeah.
seen any reviews before again because I'm just like, well, I don't really need reviews.
It's
I know
my
what I'm getting,
It's my
and I'm
early
there
runner
for
for
it.
your like top 5 game of the year from what I've seen of it.
Yeah, I can
Like
see that.
you'll love this shit.
Mhm. Yes. Next one for 81 is Avowed. Craig, have you played much of Avowed? Now it's out properly on Xbox and PC.
Yeah, so I've played. I think I'm like 14 hours in at this point.
Mm, Nice.
I think I've done
Jesus, you did that
the.
quick.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's that sort of game, Davey. It's very much a Craig game, where
Oh
like
yeah.
kind of like Starfield, where you just. Well, I can just put it on and just be questing away, and suddenly I'm like, oh, 3 hours have gone by. Where's that happened? It's just such a very easily playable game, which is quite nice, especially because I'm playing a lot of like horror games at the moment, and they're not always, the easiest things to sit down and play sometimes, especially not for long periods of time. So it's quite nice to play something like this. I think I've done everything that I could find in the first area. So I've done all the side quests, all the bounties, and the main story in that area so far. Unless you go back, and I'm literally just like gone to the second area. I'm at a camp essentially. So once I leave that camp, I'll be in the second area. I'm really enjoying it so far. I think the combat is what probably stands out the most, which is feels like a weird thing to say in an Obsidian game because I think that's not always the case, right? But the combat to me is very fun, and it's very fun as well because you can kind of play around a lot as to how you want to play it. So I went into it thinking I was mainly going to be like a bow and arrow guy, right? Because I heard Jeff and Mike talk a lot about like the bow, using the bow being fun, and then I've used the bow, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I like the bow. So I started using the wand and use like a grimoire, I think it's called, which is like a
That's
little
what
book.
I used.
Yeah, which is the little book which you can have with it, which
Yeah.
gives you more like access to more spells. That's very fun using the wand
Mm.
and the grimoire. But even like, so you can respec your character at any time, which is cool. So like I was using that for quite a while, and then I got like from doing the side quests, you get quite a lot of like unique gear. So I had like a flaming sword and like a special shield and a special heavy armor. So I was like, oh, I haven't really tried much melee yet. Let's just respec the character because it costs you some like money to do it, in-game money, and but like it's very little, so you can basically just do it however many times you want. So I was like, right, let's respec the character and like make a melee build and see what that's like. And I've been really enjoying that as well. I've just been ever since then. I've just been running around with my flaming sword and my shield and just bashing people with that. Actually, I did swap because I got an ice axe as well. So I was like, I'm going to swap to the ice axe now. So I've been pummeling people with the ice axe. But yeah, the combat's very good. You can unlock like some parry abilities. I really like the shield in general because you can parry, but you can also block. So that can be quite handy. So yeah, the combat definitely does stand out. It does also have quite a cool function where you can essentially have like two loadouts on the go at the same time. So you can yeah, I can have my shield and my axe, and then if I press Y, like changing weapon, like on a first-person shooter, I guess I can whip out my wand and my book thing and just go straight into like some range combat if I wanted to. If I don't know, if maybe the enemies I feel was better for staying back with. I do want to try out the guns as well because you can have dual pistols, I believe, or you can have like a big musket thing. They don't call it a musket. I can't remember what they call it. But it's just the musket's like a two-handed weapon, and it's like a long range with a lot of damage. So I do want to try out some of them. Because again, I did hear Mike talking about that's how he's been playing. I think he's been using like the dual pistols and saying that's a lot of fun. So I might, if I get some like unique pistols or something, I might pop them as like my secondary option and use that. I do some cowboy shit on it as well. But yeah, yeah, from what I played, I've been really enjoying it. Like I said, it's a very easy playable game. Time just disappears to this, I find. It looks really good, runs really well from what I've found so far. Um, so yeah, I feel like 81 is probably pretty fair in all honesty. I'd maybe go like a smidgen higher, but not like silly amounts higher. So yeah, I feel like 81's probably a pretty fair score all in all. I think you've played a little bit as well, right, Pengi?
Yeah, I've only played about 4 hours of it, and I am in the first city. I don't know if you mean first area as in the first city, because in the map that looks like, or do you mean like you gone to the second city?
Yeah, because you start off the tutorials in the fort, right?
Yeah, I've done
So
that.
obviously that I'm not including that, and then there's like you go into the second like city area,
Yeah.
and then yeah after that you go somewhere else. So I'm at the point now where I've gone somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm heading to somewhere else, and that I feel I've already done like 2 or 3 main missions in the game, and but like 4 hours in, I'm playing the same as you, the book and the wand. I really like that, and just being like the first person and throwing like like fire bombs and electric things, and then sort of pressing the Y button and swapping to the bow and arrow. I've mainly been ranged combat, like a range mage character in it, which I kind of like in the fantasy setting of it. But yeah, I've just not played much of it at the moment. But yeah, that is one I have played. Have you checked out Dave at all in any
I
way?
sadly I don't really have a way to check it out, Pengi. Um,
Cloud on Xbox One, Steam Deck.
I don't have Game Pass Ultimate, which is you need
Okay.
Ultimate to get
Okay.
Cloud, and
Yeah.
it runs like ass on Steam Deck, unfortunately. Um,
Ah.
Bethesda are the complete opposite of Sega when it comes to Steam Deck optimization. But there we go.
It's Obsidian, you mean?
Yeah, I mean Bethesda is the publisher, which is always confusing because I don't mean Bethesda Gamers because they publish. They publish something else and that's terrible. But don't kind of go against what I just said. So
Mm.
Obsidian. Yeah, it looks really good. Like it looks really fun, and it's really interesting to me because obviously Craig hasn't played Skyrim, so a lot of the stuff that you're describing is very Skyrim. Like that discovery of finding what works for you as weapons, is one of the best things about the Elder Scrolls games. So it's really cool that they've kind of. It looks like they've kind of done this but on crack because of how many different weapon combinations they have. Um, is the world
Yeah, because you could
interesting
do anything. You
as
could
well?
have like a pistol and a wand if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you basically you can have any two one-handed weapons. You could have a shield and a pistol if you wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you? I'm sorry because I completely cut myself up there. Do you? Is the game interesting story wise for you guys? What you've played so far?
It's nothing special so far, and I'm kind of like, I think I said to Ivor in one of the chats, things like, it, I wasn't that long ago. Obviously, I played Dragon Age Veilguard, which obviously is also a Western RPG, third person, and that, so it's slightly different. And it's like that kind of parent that is like, oh yeah, I think that's a better sort of universe than that. And for like you, Dave, it's like, I know you still got Veilguard, I
Yeah.
presume. It's like, oh yeah, I would go play that over Avowed from what I've played so far on it. Thing. But then Veilguard is in a service, so like Craig, much easier to play Avowed just playing on Game Pass than
Yeah.
going out to buy Veilguard, sort of thing. And yeah, I think you're right with the Skyrim thing. Like I've not played Skyrim, but obviously played Morrowind and Oblivion and stuff like that. But they're all very old games now as well.
How do
So
I do a podcast with the two people on the planet that haven't played Skyrim? Like,
Yeah.
how have I managed to do that? But
mm,
yeah, but like I said, I'm really interested in it, and when let's be honest, when it comes to PlayStation, I'll probably play it, because I think it looks really fun. Pillars of Eternity was great as well. I played Pillars of Eternity 1, on Xbox One, and it was pretty good. Very, very not for Craig. It's a very
mm,
ARPG, but I always found Aora as quite an interesting setting. I still need to play Deadfire, the second one actually, because that's on everything as well.
mm.
But yeah, cool.
I think Pengi's right about the stories. I think it does a better job of like world building than it does so far of really telling a story.
Yeah,
A lot of what it's like, you have a companion who's like a fish student, like he's going on about
Mhm.
is like people and that. Like I obviously know nothing from the world it's setting, 'cause I've not played the Pillars games. But I think if you probably have played the Pillars games, you would get a lot from it because yeah, it does reference a lot of stuff. So yeah, like that, the way it builds the world is quite cool. But yeah, from what I played so far, like the central story hasn't really like taken off massively, and I'm already in the second area, and I haven't like companions seem like okay, but like they're not as good as like even like the Outer Worlds ones were, because the Outer Worlds had some very good companions. Right, is it the mechanic girl that everyone liked? I can never remember her name.
Yeah.
Began with P,
Path,
didn't it? Something like that.
Path
Yeah.
was it? Something like that?
yeah. I was getting confused
Yeah.
with
So
Panam from Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Pan Am's great. Everyone loves
Yeah.
Pan Am. So yeah, like, it'd be interesting. Like, does the story pick up at all? But yeah, if not, I can see that's maybe why it's like at an 81 because yeah, like so the combat like amazing, fantastic for an RPG, and like the story so far is probably quite a bit weaker.
And then the last one Dave's given us a score for, and then it's actually the highest score we're here with 83, is PGA Tour 2K25, which would obviously, it's not out, I don't think, till
It's 28th, I believe.
March,
It's 28th of February, the early access comes out, I
but
believe.
yeah, there is like 119 quid special edition and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Are you going to go play PGA Tour 2K25 Day?
It's one of those. It's a funny one. I might. I like to have a sports game a year. Last year it was college football. Um, and yeah, me and Craig have played them quite a lot. We do quite like the old golf games. They can be quite a lot of fun if they catch you on a right mood. But yeah. So I took this list. This was on OpenCritic whenever I populated it. So I think yesterday maybe.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting. Because the top spin wasn't great, from what I understand. So it's interesting to see how their other games do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that or MLB The Show might be the one for me this year.
Craig, you just waiting for Live Tour Golf 2K26?
Yeah, I don't know. I used to be a massive golf game like addict. Yeah, not so much anymore. But I do love. They're always great. I think me and Dave played. Was it the golf club or something like that?
Yeah,
That was great.
it's what became this series because they bought the license, didn't they? 2K.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I want them to do a new Everybody's Golf because those games are fun. The PS4 one's great. It's just annoying that the online's gone. But excuse me. Yeah, they're great. They're just. I find sports games now because obviously I don't do the Ultimate Team shenanigans stuff. I know Craig and Pengi, you don't either. But sometimes I quite like a relaxing sports game. Like sport games in general are like they always have quite a simple concept, which is the sport, right? So unless you're playing, I think the exception sometimes can be cricket and sometimes can be like baseball. Like it's quite fun to jump in and play a 5 minute to 10 minute match of football or basketball or golf or whatever, right? And just kind of like mong out a bit and just play. So yeah, I'm always down for it. Like same with like wrestling games, I throw that in there. Like when a good wrestling game hits and you get really into it, like you probably play it for 30, 40 hours for that year, and then you'd be like, cool, I've got my fill of it. I don't need to buy next year's game. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm cool. It's not quite Football Manager, where I will play over 100 hours every year, though I haven't made it yet. And this game, the one that's out now, came out in 2023, so maybe I'm losing my touch. But yeah, I do like a sports game. I got to be honest, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta love a sports game. And that is all the news.
Thank you, Pengi. So we're going to go. I think, are we doing a Craig section now for the games of March?
Yeah, I've got a list.
So I know Pengels has done a video on Massive Das at YouTube, which is always a good video. It's one of Pengels' most popular videos that he does. So definitely go check out the video for
You say that by like little bit PC videos do quite well.
Well, you're very specific with the HP Omen, aren't you? So there must be dozens to 100 to a couple hundreds of you HP Omen people that have bought that laptop and like, I wonder how it runs. And Pengels has tapped into that, which is great. Because on my channel, a lot less people care about the Sonic beta. It's one of the worst. It is. I think let's check. I think it's the worst performing video.
I didn't even know you'd done. To be honest, I don't think I've even seen that video.
There you go. See, even one of my biggest fans, Chris Pengelly, doesn't pay attention to my channel anymore. Yeah, it's something like two.
He won't watch your content.
Like 2 views, whereas me literally just playing my first Gran Turismo is like over 50. So there we go. No one cares about Sonic Racing Transformed, guys.
No, even though everyone cares about Sonic now, don't they? You see Sonic merch everywhere all the time now. To the movies.
Films did great. Sonic's back, baby. Shadow's back to Chloe's annoyance because she hates Shadow.
Oh no, Shadow's the best.
And that's what I always say. And he's the ultimate life form, Pengi. I mean, that's usually the reason I give. But anyway, Craigo, Games of March.
Right, so first up, we have on the 4th of March, boys, 2 Point Museum comes to absolutely everything other than Nintendo at the moment. I guess you probably preface a lot of these with.
Oh yeah.
You can imagine that be changing very soon. 2 point games are always fun, right? Is this one on Game Pass? I feel like that
No, I don't think it is.
previous ones kind of have, right? Hospital definitely launched on Game Pass. So I feel like probably helps them, right? But yeah, very much PC games, but they do have like normally pretty good console controls as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, I can imagine Switch 2, this sort of game which would do well on Switch 2 as well. You know.
Yeah, I mean they both did really well on the Switch. The
Yeah,
first two.
yeah.
So um,
You imagine that would be their day one, right?
yeah, and there's a lot of as you just mentioned, there's a lot of Sonic content in this one if you pre-order. There's a lot of Sonic content, but this one looks really good actually. I've watched a few previews and it looks like they're doing some cool extra things with it. It does actually have a physical release on PC, on Amazon. I think it's an Amazon exclusive. And what I've discovered from me and Pengi chatting our usual shenanigans is that Sega does like one-off physical download code editions for Sega games on Amazon. So I think Sonic Superstars has one, Metaphor had one, Like a Dragon Hawaii had one, and Two Point Hospital has one. So it's cool. You can get it for in Europe. You seem to be able to get it on pretty much everything in physical-ish form.
Yes.
Yeah. Also on the same day, you have the PS5 port for Age of Mythology Retold, which I believe has also just got some DLC not that long ago. I think it's a Chinese DLC. I think it got.
Yes.
It's getting a new
So-
one on the same day as well.
Yeah, yeah, okay, so that makes sense. doesn't
Pillars
it?
or something, I believe it's called.
That makes sense for you to, you buy your new game and your PS5, you can go straight in getting your DLCs for it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And again on the same day, we have, this is for the Switch and the PC, Everhood 2. And am I right in thinking that you know what this is, Pengles?
I saw. Oh, the only reason I know about it on the G-Namer Fantasy credit, someone bid. They bid on some weird games this week. They bid on 4 that I've never even heard of, but at least I heard I've ever heard one, and then I think we looked it up, and I think the first one did review quite well. I think it was 80
Yeah, it did.
something.
And this
so
looks
yeah.
kind of cool as well from memory. It's weird. It's always got like some Undertale like vibes to it, which is not great. But then it's like there's lots of like rhythm stuff going on, right? There's like rhythm boss battles. It's very like retro and old school, but it also looks just absolutely bonkers in a lot of ways. I feel like this could be actually quite a fun game to play. Obviously, at the moment, I think it's only on Switch, right? Only on Switch and PC. But I feel like that could be one that would be like good to check out if it does come to Game Pass or Plus eventually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea how much it is or anything like that on the old Switch as well, but
No.
look like quite a cool bit mental game going out there. After that, on the 6th of March, boys.
Craig, where in the world was Carmen San Diego?
What?
Dave got the joke, I hope.
Yeah, there was a TV show called
Yeah.
Where in the World Was Carmen San Diego, Craigo, and there is
And Carmen San Diego's on the list here.
and there is a game coming for its anniversary that has a really impressive collector's edition, but I have no idea if there was a Super Nintendo game or an NES game that they did. Craig, Pengi,
I don't know. It was like old PC games from what I can remember of the Carmen San Diego series.
Yeah, Craig might be a little bit young, and
Yeah.
wasn't quite as internet intensive as me and you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to see that on this list. But what is on this list on the 6th of March, boys? We have Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster.
Would you like another attempt at that pronunciation, Craig?
Because Mike Minotti loves these games.
Suikoden. Yeah, hell yeah, Craigo. These games
The
are great
second
shit.
one is a cult classic. I've never really played it.
Have you ever played any of them, Pengi?
I've played bits of the first and second one, but not
No,
all
not
of
good.
them, no, they're supposed to be really good. I just, playing like PS1 RPG, 2D PS1 RPGs in like, I don't know, 2016 or whatever when I bought them on Vita. I've got the newer ones, I think, on PS2, like 4 or something. I've not really touched, but yeah.
Dave, did you dive back and you loved the JRPG back in the days? Did you dive in any of these?
I played Suikoden 1, and I really enjoyed it. I haven't played 2. It's one of those, like, I think this collection looks like a really good collection of games. Am I right in thinking Suikoden's Konami, or have I dreamt that?
Yeah, Konami.
Konami's back, baby. But yeah, I'm very interested in this. I don't know what I'm going to buy it on. Yeah, I think me and Pengi did talk about this not that long ago. I don't know whether I want to get it on Steam Deck when it goes on a sale, because these games are perfect for handheld, or do I want to pick up on PS5 because it's got the physical edition and I can sell it if I don't like it. But yeah,
This is a Switch version as well, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Why would you do that, Pengi? Why would you do that, Craig? Why would we play it on Switch? So no, there's no achievements. What's even the point? Guess what's got
What?
achievements, boys?
Steam.
So
Yeah. Did anyone care about Steam achievements?
I do. Daddy cares. But yeah,
One that we do all care about though.
and what's that, boy?
Is Split Fiction on the 6th of March,
Yeah, actually, it's
coming to Xbox, PC, and PlayStation 5. Joseph Fares, newest
and
game.
potentially the Switch later in the year, Craigo. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would imagine so,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's gonna be perfect for that shit you would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
And Pengi, I believe you have a pre-order in for this.
Yeah, I have the pre-order in for it on PS5, so you just need to sort yours out now, Craig.
Yeah, I am actually, because I don't get like any trophies or anything like that if I play it on the Friends Code, do I?
No.
So I am kind of tempted to do the Pengals and buy, play, sell here, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much is it for the. It's not a full price, is it?
It's $44.99. It's RRP.
It's 37 on Amazon right now.
Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're gonna get
You got to support the desk.
yeah, you're gonna get that.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna get that back, aren't you? This is a game that's gonna have a lot of legs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Their last one did what, 20 million? So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cynically going to wait for it to come to a service, and then I'm going to make you play it with me, Craigo.
yes,
But right now,
I'm sure it'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't need much convincing, to be honest with you, Davey, to replay it again.
Right, but yeah, it's one of those. I think, like you guys said, I think this game's going to be great. But for me, I'll wait. But I can see why people are excited.
Yeah, definitely. On the same day, boys, we have Fragpunk.
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe is some sort of shooter. Has anyone? I imagine this has been in early access
Yeah,
and demos.
yeah.
Has anyone played any of it ever?
I've not played any of it, but Dave is correct. It's a card-based first-person shooter, so it's not like Valorant, as in like totally like
Good.
more like simmy. It's not all arcade of like an Overwatch. It's like in betweeny.
It's just the one that was at the Xbox show, like at some point, and you could you had like big heads and stuff like that.
Yeah. You basically
That was
get
on the
different
cards,
cards every round or something. So
It's quite a fun idea. It sounds like quite arcadey, doesn't it?
yeah.
It sounds like quite a fun idea. Although I do think I'm sure this is just gonna get lost in the mud.
It
right?
is free to play, and it is on all, it's on PC, PS5, Xbox, and I guess it have cross play. So
Yeah, so they're making the right decisions there, at least, I guess.
yeah.
Right after that, jumping to March 11th, of a PC port of a game that Pengi liked a lot last year. That's Rise of the Ronin.
Mhm.
Or Ronin, I guess you probably should say.
Yeah.
Pengi, you liked this a lot on PlayStation last year.
Yeah.
But obviously you've already played it, so I can't imagine you want to play it again on your PC. Dave, is this one that you think, I could get on the Steam Deck and play on the Steam Deck?
If it runs well, maybe. Yeah, it's not top of a list of games to play, Craig. I'll be honest, but
No.
I know Pengi talked highly of it. I think there's just a lot of games like it, really. That I think I'd probably rather play.
Yeah, because there is one coming out similar this month as well, of March.
Yeah, but also on the same day, we have Wonder Stop. It's apparently
Oh
coming to
yeah.
PC and PlayStation 5.
Yep.
It's a cozy game, but there's some like weird, like dark elements looking at it from the
Mhm.
trailer. We've not really seen any of this other than that one trailer, have we?
No. And it is
Which-
Annapurna, so I guess we're going to see more of it in the Annapurna show.
Yeah, I guess it would be nice to actually see what this is, right? What we doing?
Yeah,
'Cause I feel
well,
like
we're
I know
running a
the
tea shop.
name.
It's a cozy tea shop simulator.
Yeah, but you want to see how you're doing it, don't you? And what
Yeah.
this like twist is of this dark stuff that seems to be going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably need to sell it a little bit, yeah, at the showcase. So I know it's got the name recognition because it's got the guy that worked on whatever it
Stanley
was.
Parable.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
For some people, that's going to stand out, but
Yeah.
they probably need to actually see what we're doing. So hopefully, we do get that as a showcase. And I believe you have this in fantasy as well, right, Pengi?
I do have it in fantasy credit because, that Stanley Parable is like a 90 something rated game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people love cozy games.
People do love cozy games. Jumping to the 14th, boys.
Yeah.
We have a couple of sports games coming. We have MLB The Show coming to everything other than PC by the looks of it. And WWE 2K25 coming to everything other than Nintendo by the looks of it. Either of those tickle your fancy for what you were just saying on the sports games there?
For me, sorry, Krieger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like the idea of MLB The Show. Obviously, I went and watched a baseball game earlier in the year. Earlier in last year, sorry, because we're in 2025 at the Toronto Blue Jays, and I did actually really enjoy that experience. So it's one of those that if it's easy to import on disc, then I will pick it up. I don't like spending £70 digitally on games. I'll be honest, but yeah, it's one of those. If I'm able to import it via Amazon, which is what I did with what Chloe did with college football, then I think I'll probably will pick it up. Looks like a fun time. Looks like there's lots of content.
Nice. Pengi, any for you? Maybe some wrestling? Although I imagine you'll just play the old ones. It normally goes to the
yeah, that's the thing.
plus,
2K25 does look really good in the whole Bloodline mode. That is
the islands.
No, not the island. There's a Bloodline story mode where you can start with playing as Rocky Johnson and that, and it shows you from the clips, there's Paul Heyman managing the Wild Samoans in WCW and all that stuff thing, and it's
that's pretty cool actually. If they'd done that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But I'm pretty sure 24 was pretty good, and it's on Plus. So I'm like, if I was gonna play one, would I play 24 instead of 25? But then is that gonna leave Plus because this is coming out soon?
Was it not a monthly
that sort of
Plus, Pengi? Like an Essentials. I'm pretty sure that it was an Essentials, not a
Okay, they've also got an Infinite and also got Plus subscription. Okay, yeah, you might be. You could be right.
Because I have it on my library, and there's no way I would have downloaded it from Extra. So I think it was. I think it was like a monthly Plus, like Essentials.
Okay, yeah. So I could just go back to 24. Then if that is good, which I think it was. That was the one that was the comeback one.
Yeah, and then for now, boys, I want you to get your violins out.
Violin ready.
And I want you to start playing Closer to My God Than Thee, or whatever the song's called. So I think this is the iceberg's ahead, boys. It's Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think we're heading towards that iceberg, and like the Titanic, Ubisoft's going to be sinking, right?
This was the samurai game or ninja type game I was mentioning. Was coming out as well.
Yeah, I have absolutely no hope at all. Anything you see about this game is negative at this point. Absolutely everything. Every decision they seem to be making, something to do with you can destroy shrines or something, and people aren't happy about that. And I
believe the Japanese government are they suing them? It's something pretty ridiculous. That they've managed to
just sounds like every decision they've made ever with this game has been poor, right? We did get previews as well, and the ones I saw seemed mixed to meh, if anything. I didn't see any that were glowing, let's put it that way. So yeah, I have no faith in this at all, boys. Do either of you have any faith at this point?
No. I think we're done.
No.
I think. Yeah,
it was on my radar, but the problem is now it's I haven't played Like a Dragon Ishin yet, which I own, and Ghost of Yotai is going to be this year. So like, I just wait for Ghost of Yotai, which is most probably going to be better than Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed Shadows. And there's a game that I want coming out one day later on the 21st. It's like I'm gonna play that instead. The
Yeah,
only thing
definitely.
is, I could mostly get a free trial or something for Ubisoft Plus on PC and play it on PC.
Yeah.
So like, if it's like, oh, here's a 2-week trial or something of of Ubisoft Plus on PC, it's like, oh, I'll just play Assassin's Creed Shadows via that. But yeah, that's about it for that game, I think, for me.
Yeah, even for me, if I was to be like, right, I'm gonna sub to Ubisoft Plus for a month and play
Yeah.
it, I think I'd rather just play Star Wars Outlaws, to be honest with you. And
Yeah,
that game
yeah,
did
and I would
exactly
have,
like do well for him, did it? So
yeah, and I would have that to play as well. I haven't actually touched that, so yeah.
yeah, that looks better and more interesting to me than this. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know, boys. I feel like yeah. I feel like I don't feel confident at all. Up to the 20th of March, boys, and I didn't realise this was a thing. Oh, I knew it was a thing. I didn't realise it was coming out. But Wreckfest 2 apparently is coming out, but only on PC according to
Yeah,
this.
it's early access.
Early access.
I see. Why does a game like this need early access? I never get that.
It worked really well with the first one, so I think that's kind of like
Okay.
they'll get money based on who they are early when the game probably isn't ready for another year and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're all excited for this, aren't we? I'm very excited. For it anyway.
Yeah, I loved the first one. It was great fun. So yeah, when this eventually does come out, then yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll get an idea of it from this early access.
Yeah,
How many
if
people will
I
be doing
will-
content for it?
We'll probably try and pick it up on Steam Deck because the first one runs incredibly well. So once it's verified or it's like we know it'll run, it's one I might pick up and play it early because I kind of know it's going to be great. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
and again, like I don't mind to quote Pengi, I don't mind supporting those devs, great devs.
Definitely not. One for the Switch on the same day on the 20th. We have Xenoblade Chronicles X Remastered. Is this the Xenoblade that you played, Pengi, or is this an old one?
No, this is the one on Wii U. The last,
That's the one I played. That's how long
Yeah.
ago it was.
Oh yeah,
it was like the
okay.
last Wii U game that hasn't been ported.
Was it a good one, Davey?
Yeah, it's really good. It was too good for the Wii U. Like you in terms of like, I remember buying because I got the special edition for this. I remember loading this fucker up and being like, "How on God's green earth is this running on a Wii U?" Like it was they kind of always do this, but it looks ridiculous. Like even Pengi will attest to how good that game looked on Wii U. I'm not going to buy it again because it is about 140 hours to get to the end. It's not a very story heavy game until the end of the end, basically. But yeah, it's a good game. It's what you expect for the last year of the Switch.
And it does also mean all the Xenoblade Chronicles games are now on Switch.
Yeah.
as
And
well.
and thus the Switch 2 because also it's backwards compatible. So that's really cool
Yeah.
for the future of this series. Excuse me again. But yeah, it's not one for you, Craigo, and it's not one I don't think that's going to persuade me and Pengi to sprint out and play our Switches or for Pengi to buy another one.
I own it on Wii U, Dave. I just play on
There you
Wii U.
There you go. Download that HD data pack you have to download.
Dave has already
play it,
downloaded
yeah.
before the eShot went off. I'm ready. I'm ready for when that time comes.
God.
And then the next day, we have another JRPG, boys.
Yeah,
First, apparently this is only on the Switch according to this, which I don't know if that's right.
that's
but-
not right. No, it's
No,
on
I didn't think
everything.
that was right. And that's a game with a nice short name. It's Atelier Yumiya, The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land, which is a name they have chosen.
Oh,
This is this is the Atelier game where it looks like they've pumped a load of budget in, right?
Mhm.
And
First
think
ever game to
quite-
come to Xbox as well.
yeah, and maybe up the scale and what they're trying to do here. The Atelier games are weird, right? Because they pump these out like no tomorrow. There's like at least
There's
one or
one
two
each
out a
year,
year.
Last year it was
Yeah.
only a mobile game, but it is literally a yearly series that started like in the mid '90s.
And if they
Yeah,
don't have a yearly game, they'll have a remaster because I'm pretty sure they remastered 2 of them last year as well.
Yeah. There was a remake actually as well,
Yeah.
and a remaster. Yeah, there's like 3 games actually.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, this also like you never hear anyone talk about it. I feel like these are like the JRPGs of like JRPGs, aren't they? They are. You are in the trenches, aren't you? If you're playing these games, I feel
The
the
Atelier
JRPG.
series is how I used to. So each of these series have had breakout games. So for example, the Tales of breakout game was really a Rise. You could argue Symphonia, but realistically, it was a Rise that was on everything. Legend of Heroes, it was Cold Steel. But like this one has not had its really breakout game. I think
Well, I think
Riser was pretty good,
Riser was
but like
because they even had the anime was based on Riser, I believe, on there. That was the one.
yeah,
I
but it,
think.
it didn't really crack the Western market just yet.
No, I never heard anyone talking about anyone who actually played it.
No,
I know. I think this was part of the 2 years of the Switch for Pengi, where I think you talked
Yeah.
about it.
I think he bought
yeah.
it. I don't know if he played it. I think that was the
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it looks really cool. But like everyone says, how many fucking JRPGs are there to play right now? Let alone the old ones that we haven't played anyway. But in terms of RPG, like you are not hungry if you like JRPGs in 2025.
No, because even like for you boys, you got the Atlas ones. I think you both owned from
Yeah.
last year, right?
Oh
It's
yeah, I mean,
just
you could play
there's
Persona. I could play Persona until next
Yakuzas.
year, Craig. I could play just Atlas games because Atlas obviously helps out on Yakuza. I could play that until 2028, and I won't be caught up.
Yeah, exactly. But it sounds like you buying this, Pengi?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we get again with Attilia, Dave.
Yeah, I think this also.
You got to promise to play this one though, Pengi.
Yeah, well,
For
obviously
content, you need to play it.
I will obviously get on PlayStation this time, and obviously being a new character, Yumiya, where like last time jumping in like with Riser 2, I'm like who sort of thing, or I think there was a Sophie 2 not long ago. Well, this is the first one for the new character and stuff, which it looks like it's got a higher budget, so I'm expecting like Dynasty Warriors to Dynasty Warriors Origin sort of upgrade as well from Koei Tecmo here with this one.
Yeah, definitely. Like we said, it's the Eurocode Tecmo, aren't we? Right. Right. Jumping a bit. Oh, they've still got Tales of the Shire on this list, which is sad, right?
God rest it.
Yeah. Jumping a bit to end on a couple that are on the 27th of March. We'll start with
I just noticed, it's just not me being like a fit of being funny. Is it missing First Berserker on this list?
It's on here. It's on here.
Oh, I just can't see
I'm
it.
getting to that. Yeah.
Okay.
So first on the 27th is Titanfall, which I believe is a Game Pass game, and it's essentially looks like British Fallout sort of thing. Looks like it could be quite cool. Probably need to see reviews for this before we get excited though. But is it one you can see yourself picking up and giving a go on Game Pass at some point in the year, Pengi?
No, not even on Game Pass. What I've seen, I just doesn't really do anything for me. I don't know why.
No, I guess you're not a big Fallout guy either, are you? So.
No. Fallout's awful.
Yeah.
Apart from the show. The show was good. That's the only good thing.
The show was good. But yeah, it looks kind of cool. It's also like I think we spoke about a little while ago. There seems to be a lot of games being set in like Britain at the moment, being very British games. It's a cool vibe. So I think this is like set in like Yorkshire or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it looks kind of cool. But again, probably need to see some reviews for that before we get excited really. And then, as Pengi alluded to, on the same day, on the 27th, we do also have the first Berserker Kazan, which I believe you played the demo for, Pengi, and you didn't like. So
No, I played the demo, didn't like it, and I haven't really heard any positive things from it. I should have asked our resident Souls man in work if he played it.
I've been trying to get him to play the demo, but I don't think he has. I think he's
No.
I think I might have looked. He might have looked at the trailer and said it looked cool. But I don't know. I've been trying to get him to play it.
No, I don't know. Like Andy on Kind of Funny wasn't keen on it. I don't think either. I know our Mr. Buer was keen on AI Limit, the one before the anime girl Souls game.
Yeah,
there's
so
a
she
shock. There's a
also
shock
played and
horror for
hated.
everyone, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like 25 quid as well or something compared to like the 60 quid of the first Berserker Kazan. So
Yeah, and if you're not going to play that, then that's probably it for the three of us. Because from what I have heard of the demo, is that it is hard as dicks. So
Yeah, you just
can't
need
see
to
me or
get.
Dave going anywhere near that.
No,
It just needs
it's
to
a
get
cool
good.
art. It's a cool art style, but it's it's kind of the same as what I was saying about JRPGs. If you want to play a Souls game, you have got so much freaking choice right now that you don't have to settle for one that you don't like the look of.
No, you're not going to run out anytime soon, are you? And that is it for March, boys. That's the games.
Nice.
Quite a solid month, I feel, especially after this month, which has just been a lot. And we're also ending on a lot, right, with Monster Hunter.
Mm.
So I mean, we're looking at all these, but realistically, I mean, we're playing like I feel like we're playing Monster Hunter and Avowed for the whole of like the next couple of months.
It's just too much. I went in. I've got my spreadsheet that I do because obviously we do the end of year shows every year. So I'm like, well, I need to track what I'm playing. And so far, I've only played one game from this year. And I was looking at
I
this.
think
barely played
Avowed
anything.
might be the only one I've played really. A little bit of Lonely Mountain as well, but
Yeah, right. But there's like so it's like games like I'm looking at the demos here on PlayStation just to like give me some reference here, and it's like Pirate of Yakuza, obviously. Um, you've got Phantom Brave. I wanted to play. I haven't got around to that yet, which is like a
Dynasty Warriors.
Disgaea game, Dynasty Warriors Origins. Like, there's already been a nice little selection of games. Let alone indie games. Let alone drops. Let alone last year's games. Let alone updates. Like, I think there's so much to play. Like you said, like the majority of the people we know are probably going to be pretty hardcore into Monster Hunter for the next month or so. Like we got Doom pretty soon, as well. When's Doom coming out? Doom's coming out in May. Like we've got
April's got quite a few already announced. You got South of Midnight and
Expedition
Expedition
33,
33 is both
right?
in
So like
April
again,
now.
another JRPG. Like this, Civilization 7's just come out. Like there's all these games. I just don't think we're going hungry, boys. And that's why I think it's even funnier when we look at like Assassin's Creed Shadow, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, I don't even think it looks that bad, and I just don't think it's gonna sell anything at all.
No.
Like anything at all. Like that's pretty wild. I think people will look at it and go, I'd rather play the Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 remasters for £25. At least I know what I'm getting. Then turn around and play, and I think they look more polished games, if I'm honest with you. And Lara is definitely more fun than upsetting all of Japan.
Yeah, even for me, if I was like, oh, I really want to play an Assassin's Creed game, no, I'd rather like just go back to Valhalla. That looked so much better.
Right, and you can get all the content
never
for
played
like
that.
20 quid, and then you'd be.
And I feel like everyone
Yeah.
probably has that with an Assassin. Even people like me who like Assassin's Creed. There's probably a good one that you've missed somewhere along the way, which looks a lot better than
I honestly
Shadows.
think it's just the Ubisoft problem, because I don't even look at it as just Assassin's Creed anymore. Like I look at it like Pengi said, like I haven't played Star Wars Outlaws yet, and it plays like Assassin's Creed, right? Basically now, so like I'll go play that one, or I'll play Immortals: Phoenix Rising that I haven't played yet, or Watch Dogs 2 or something. Like they're all kind of the same game. So yeah, I'd be very interested in 9 months, 10 months time to see what has become of Ubisoft throughout this year, because I don't think it's going to be very positive. Excuse me. But is that all of the games, Creo?
That is it. Yeah.
Yep.
Lovely. So let's get on to what we've been buying and what we've been playing. Let's get to Pengi, because obviously I'm still coughing me life up at the moment. So we'll let Pengi talk for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've bought nothing.
First,
So that's it.
first week in 9 years that Chris has said that out loud.
Played. We've sort of basically talked it in the review roundup. I played demo of like a Dragon Pirate. Played a little bit of Avowed, and I've played. I played some Football Manager 2020 4 on, and I have won the Europa Conference League.
Nice.
Europa
Pengi.
FC.
How many
managed to-
seasons are we on, Pengi?
That was season 4.
Nice.
That's not
nice.
bad.
That's not bad at all.
No,
You've
and I
gotten
managed to avoid Man United in the Europa League. They went out to Lille in the semi-final.
Oh, huge.
So, yeah, so I managed to avoid them, who I think I would have most really struggled against. And I played Trabzonspor in the other semi-final.
Love that.
Yeah. And then I played Lille, who I actually beat in the group, the league phase anyway. So, earlier in the season. So, yeah, But I kind of do feel unfair to the other teams in Gibraltar because I got obviously all my prize money and everything like that, and I just bought another under 21 because I guess they're not as dear. An under 21 French international that can basically play like every position for £3 million, while the other teams like when I started it, buy players for like 10 grand.
Yeah, they
It's like,
basically got Bob from down the pub playing for, weren't they, at that point? So.
yeah. I was trying, nicking people off like Europa points for like 10 grand in the first season, and now I'm like buying a French under 21 international for £3 million, and like, yeah, sort of that thing. But yeah, I played some of that, and I've played a little bit more of Lies of P. I have done 3 bosses. I'm on like chapter 4. Even though it doesn't actually really tell you the chapters, but when you go to what is essentially the bonfire in this from Dark Souls or the Slightly Grace of Henry, it's called the Stargazer. Um, Different ones in different locations. So at the top, you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think there's like 16 chapters. And if you sort of thing, so I'm only on like chapter 4. Sort of that so far. Enjoyed what I've played. Apparently, it does get harder. Again, talking to our Resident Souls man, it does get harder going along. I did struggle not on the boss per se. I found a survivor, a human character, and because you are a puppet, I guess spoilers for Lies of P, you're like Pinocchio. They start attacking you, and they were hard. They were very hard. I must have taken about 6 or 7 attempts to beat this one character, sort of thing. Uh, yeah, which wasn't even like a proper boss, and I think they dropped like a new outfit or something. Nothing even that great, like no new weapon or anything like that. I just got a different outfit, so the character looks a bit different. And that is it. That's all I've played. I've not really played much at all this week.
It's a very rare week from Chris Pengi, but I'm sure you will claw it back.
Yeah, basically next Friday. Next Friday, yeah, when we do next episode, you'll be like, "Oh, what have you played?" I've played one game, Monster Hunter. I've played like 20 hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite the one next week, 'cause obviously I've got a bit of time away from the boss, which means probably just going to play video games non-stop, if I'm honest, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, Craigo, what about you, my boy? What have you played, bought, and everything in between this week?
I never bought anything. Again, it's a little bit of a trend. I bought most this year, in all honesty.
I was
in terms
kind of
of-
expecting like a dragon. I thought you might have caved and bought it.
Nah, so I've got Avowed at the moment, plus everything else I've been playing. So yeah, I think I'll wait a little while for that one. I spoke about Avowed, so I move on to Alan Wake 2, which was one of my backlog games from last year, which I picked up on Black Friday. I have now finished that, boys.
Hell yeah.
And I've
which is
given
3
you a
out of
tick.
yeah, it's 3 out of 5 for me, and I absolutely loved it. The ending's brilliant. I love the whole story, all the characters. I love the whole little universe they've built with that and Control, like merged into one, the Remedy verse or whatever it's called. I absolutely love the soundtrack. This is one of the rare gaming soundtracks. So I feel like there's a lot of like gaming soundtracks you listen to and you're like, God, this is really good, right? But I don't feel any need to like listen to it again. Whereas this, I'm like, if this is on Spotify, I'm listening to the soundtrack. It's so good. I love the fact they have this like that band, which is obviously like a band in real life, and then they've turned them into like a band in their little universe thing, and then they're actually like characters in the game, and they're actually like related quite a lot into the story, which is really cool. So yeah, and I really like the ending. It sets up the next game really well as well, I think. Which I imagine we're going to get a lot faster than we did this sequel, because this sequel was a long time in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it does a very good job of setting that up. Obviously, I think we're getting the FPC game, aren't we? The multiplayer one. They're doing the remakes. I think they're doing Control 2 first, but hopefully Alan Wake 2 isn't like a gazillion miles away. I know they have that leak, didn't they? Which I think it said like the 2030 or something like that. Alan Wake 2. might have been a little bit before that. I don't know.
Do you mean
But
Control
yeah,
2?
I'm Alan Wake 2,
Alan Wake
because that's the
3?
last one they're making.
You
Alan
mean
Wake 3,
Alan Wake?
sorry,
I
yeah,
was to
Yeah.
say.
yeah,
I was like, Craig, you've had a stroke. That's what you're playing right now.
yeah. So yeah, I'd be very much looking forward to that when it does eventually come out, because yeah, it does a very good job of telling that story and setting up the next one. Obviously, I had the definitive edition as well, so I have done all the DLC now. I did most of it as you're playing through the game, because you kind of unlock parts of it as you go. You essentially the first DLC, which is the free part, like TV show one, you unlock like the parts as you go when you're playing as Alan throughout the game. So I did
Alan.
two of the three of them whilst I was playing. I did go back and do one after. They're all really good. I in particular like the first one and the third one, just because they're like the most silly. And I feel like that first DLC pack in particular is where you can tell they like let the devs just like just go nuts. Just whatever ideas you have, just fucking throw them at the wall, and we'll see what we can do there. I think that's kind of where Remedy is always good, right? When they're doing like their wacky, silly stuff. The first episode is the one from the trailer, which is the where you're playing as the woman from the diner.
Yeah,
You've got the fully
waitress.
automatic shotgun, and yeah, that's very very good and very funny. And the third one's like it's just wacky. It's all over the place. It's great. Like it's got some like we're changing realities. It starts off quite normal, but then it's got like you're doing like a loop puzzle, which the game has a lot of loops in it. Very heavily leans into that, and then it's like you're in like a comic book world, and then it's like turns into like a 2D like retro game for a bit, and then it ends as like a text adventure, I guess is how you'd probably describe it. It's all over the place, and it is great fun. It's very wacky. So that set of DLC was very good, and I did really like the second set of DLC as well. The one which was more based on like Control and the FBC, which you do also unlock as you play, but you unlock that as you're playing as Saga quite near the end, and they do a really good job of like seamlessly putting it in there. Because you're talking to a woman from the FBC, and she mentions the lake house, but it's as you're doing something else, and then as you kind of like finish the little chapter you're on, and you have a bit of respite, she's like, "Oh, we can tell you more about the lake house now if you want to," and you can just go up to her and go straight into the DLC seamlessly, and do that, and then come back to the main game, which is really cool how they've added that in. And I don't know if it's part of the definitive edition or if it was just a patch they did for the whole game. But they have also done a new game plus for the game, which does change some stuff by the sound of it. It has a different ending. Changes the ending. I think it changes some other bits and pieces in the game, gives you more context, which is quite a cool idea. I think they've built it in quite well because, like I said, the whole game is built on this like these ideas of these loops. So looping and doing a new game plus—that's just another loop, right, boys?
Yeah.
But
True.
now you.
What are you playing, a roguelike?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now like a lot more, and you probably have a lot better idea of the context. Like I said, they have a different ending, so I love the idea of it, but the game is quite long, so I was like, I
Yeah, I
can't play
guess
this game
especially with all the
again.
DLC and stuff like that added in, it would be pretty long.
Yeah, but obviously you can if you're doing the second game, you can just not do that because, like I said, you
Yeah.
can choose whether you're doing it or not. But like I said, just doing the main game is probably over 20 hours. So if it's one of them, if it was like a Resident Evil 2 remake or 3 remake where you can power through that like campaign really quickly, I would have been very tempted to do another playthrough with these like different snippets from the story. But I was like, no, I'm just gonna go on YouTube and see what the different ending is. And again, that different ending is very cool, and how that like then ties in, and like I said with the story and the way they're doing the loops, it sets up the next game very well. So yeah, very much enjoyed that. And that's 3 out of 5 on the old backlog challenge for me now. Which just leaves Destroy All Humans 2 and Lost Judgments now. Which I'm definitely going to slow down now. I've had a burst at the start of the year, but now obviously stuff is starting to come out. So.
Yeah, same. And now it's like, oh, Plantation Day's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I will. Destroy All Humans 2, I think would be pretty easy because that's not that long, and I think it'd be a perfect Portal game as well.
Mm.
So I can see that maybe being after Metaphor. yeah, I will have to squeeze Lost Judgment in there somewhere, especially as I've already been playing the pirate game as well. So a lot of Yakuza. And then the only other things I've played is we played a bit more It Takes Two, right, Dave? I
We
think we're on
have.
to chapter 3 now.
Hmm.
I think. Really good. Really enjoyed what we played so far. Me having a headset and actually being able to talk properly to Dave, I think is very beneficial because the old setup I had going was a little bit silly. We have died more times than we'd probably like to admit at some of the boss fights, Dave. To be honest
Yeah,
with you,
yeah, absolutely.
you know, Pengi, you think you're a big man playing your Lies of P, but
Mhm.
cool, you should see some of these boss fights, big fella.
Right,
Christ.
play a real game.
Yeah, put some
Well, what
put
you
some
need to
hairs
do,
on your
you
chest.
gotta learn the patterns, see, and then, it's all
Yeah.
good then. Isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun with that. And then the only other thing I've played is more Metaphor. I think my save now is up to like 73 or 74 hours, boys.
Nice.
And I think I'm in. The game doesn't really have chapters, but I think I'm in like what would be like the last chapter now, per se. I'm definitely like I've had a massive story bit. I've did some like big bad bosses, and now it's essentially like, oh, you have 30 days to before you have to face the big bad. I think this will probably be the last of them. I mean, 30 days is quite a long time in like a. I guess you boys probably know from like the Persona and that standpoint. So there's a lot I can do. There's a lot of dungeons that have now unlocked again, and I have a lot of like bonds I can do with some of the newer characters that I've got. And you do unlock, without going spoilery, you do unlock some like powerful archetypes as well now. So I'm kind of trying to get my bonds up with all the characters, so I can try and unlock those archetypes and then try and like grind through the dungeons as I go, try and level them up to like, actually unlock them. Because there's like conditions you've got to get before you can unlock them. You've got to unlock other jobs in the game. So yeah, still going with that. Still very much enjoying that. The story just like does get better and better as it goes on. And the characters, are so good in that game and so well voiced acted as well. Yeah, the story bits can be quite long. Like there are times when you're like, I haven't done anything for what feels like 2 or 3 hours at this point. But
Ah, yes, the Persona.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah, the story being good obviously helps that. If it was absolutely god awful, then you would be insufferable at that point. But yeah, so yeah, still going with that. I did kind of want to get that done before Monster Hunter, but I feel like that might have been ambitious. So yeah, that will keep going as the Portal game. And hopefully I can get that done fairly soon. So yeah, I've been playing that for quite a while. But yeah, that's it from me, Davey. What about you?
No, so I've also played quite a bit. Let's do this in the order. So last week during the podcast, I was playing Streets of Rage 4, and after the podcast, I finished Streets of Rage 4, boys.
Nice.
Great stuff, great game. Highly recommend it to everyone. So on PS5, like Craig said, we've been playing It Takes Two. I've got a prolonged period of girlfriendlessness coming up as she is away and abroad. So I suspect Craig will fill that void with us playing It Takes Two. So that I fully expect that to be finished in the next week from me and Craigo, because there is no better girlfriend replacement than Craig Warren.
And It Takes Two is the girlfriend game as well, right?
Right,
So
and as
Mhm.
you have always been my girlfriend co-op partner, Craigo. We will continue. Excuse me. The only other thing on PS5 is I've played quite a lot of Final Fantasy X, Pengi.
Nice.
I've just had the urge to play some older games, as you will see coming up, and it's a game I haven't finished since it came out on PS2 in 2001, 2002, 2001.
Mhm.
And I've had the HD collection since 2016, according to my my trophies. I believe we played it on a podcast when you might have started it.
Possibly,
In
yeah.
2016, and then I think I went out and bought it in a sale. Really enjoying it. The game holds up really well. I don't think the models are quite as good as they do on the PS2. I was reading that they lost a lot of the code. They had to use like overworld models, like HD'd up, so the faces are kind of weird. But other than that, game's great. It's Final Fantasy X. It's a classic Final Fantasy game, and it's fun.
Have you defeated Seymour? Is Seymour the bad guy?
Seymour. He is one of the bad guys. I've done the first Seymour fight, so I'm a lot further than the last time I played it. But it's not that long. I think it's like a 25-30 hour game if you know what you're doing, and I do know what I'm doing, so it shouldn't be too bad. I'm not going to do like the Dark Aeons or anything, or trying to dodge lightning 100 times. That's not a bit of me, Pengi.
Yeah, I would dodge lightning. She's not a great character.
So to move on to the bit that everyone wants in the segment that we're going to continually call Dave on Deck. Let's do a bit of Dave on Deck. So I have bought them some things, Craig, because there is always sales when you have a PC. So first of all, on Steam itself, I've picked up Batman Arkham Origins for £2.99. Now this is the one that wasn't made by Rocksteady, that was quite well received, but is just not available on anything apart from, I think, Xbox with the disc. Pengi,
Yeah, it's disc only on Xbox. Yeah.
And I've always really wanted to play it. It's set at Christmas. It is more like Arkham City and Arkham Asylum than Arkham Knight, but it's quite well regarded. It's just not made by Rocksteady. So I wanted that. It runs great on deck as well. It's a 60 frames a second, everything on high, kind of jobby. So I played Arkham Asylum the end of last year, and it's one of those I do really want to play Arkham Origins. I haven't played it. That and Blackgate are probably the two that I haven't played, really, and we're not including Suicide Squad. So that was it. The other purchase, Craig.
You've also not played Arkham,
Gotham
the new
Knights?
one, the VR one. The VR one.
I haven't played any of the VR ones. I didn't play the one on PSVR 1 either, but...
This is the team that made Gotham Knights, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, yeah. And this one's regarded a lot better than Gotham Knights. There's some really cool boss fights and stuff, and there's like a really cool detective mode, Pengi, I believe. Like, I only vaguely remember this from back in the day. I think it was on Wii U. I might have like started it.
Yeah, I own it on Wii U, so...
Yeah, and it's one of those that it's not Steam Deck verified because the online mode doesn't work. But that server's long gone. So if you see it and you have a Steam Deck, like, buy it. They have to put unsupported because of the online mode. But it's the same with Ghost of Tsushima. The online doesn't work because of DRM. But the whole single player game works fine on deck. So it's one of those. The other game, Pengles mentioned CD keys earlier. And I have utilised the CD keys, Craigo, and I have purchased Kingdom Hearts 1+5, the 1.5 plus 2.5 HD. That basically is the first...
Easy for you to say, Dave.
Oh, don't. I've got it right in front of me as well. It's basically the first 6 games. 4 of them are games, 2 of them are videos. If you remember, I did play and finish Kingdom Hearts 1 on Xbox a few years ago, and I've been meaning to get back to it, and I figured for £15 on handheld, why not? I played about 4 hours straight last night on deck of the first game, because obviously Craig has 196 achievements for me to get, so got to get that started. Fantastic. I forgot how much I really enjoyed, because I really enjoyed the first game. I forgot how much I enjoyed it, and it being handheld is a game changer. Runs at perfect, runs at 90 frames per second on my OLED at full spec. It looks absolutely stunning. Like, you can even knock the wattage down to like 10 watts, so it's like 6-hour battery life. It's great. Like, really, really good. Looking forward to playing it again.
So what are you playing? Are you playing Kingdom Hearts 2 at the moment?
I'm playing 1, Final Mix.
Okay.
I'm going to play all of them.
I thought you might have skipped it, because obviously...
Yeah, it's not that long, and I kind of wanted to get all the achievements and saves and stuff in one place, so I want to do that. Then I'm going to try Chains of Memories again, but obviously, Rechain of Memories, but obviously it's much easier on a handheld. But yeah, really, really enjoying it. It's such a great game. Again, I kind of been very PS2 heavy with that and Final Fantasy X. But
was there any deal on 2.8?
Yeah, they're all on there on CD keys. I just figured I'd do this first and then I'll get to 2.8. Yeah. But on CD keys, I think you can. I think there is a what's happened so far collection for like maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say I think
30.
they did a collection that had 2.8 and 3 in it as well.
Yeah, I didn't want to spend like 35-40 on 8 games, so I'd rather buy the 15 quid and play the first, because the first 4 games is over 100 hours of gameplay, right? So, and then when I beat those, I can get the next ones, because I'm terrible for just buying the whole series. Can't help myself, right? But yeah, really, really pleased with that. And it's just having different ways to buy games, Craig. It's the one major advantage of Steam and like PC in general.
Yeah, like I was saying, like when I saw like a Dragon Pirate for 35 quid on PC, I'm like, that's quite a bit cheaper.
Well, yeah, and it's one of those things. Like, and this is a bit of a tangent, but because one other thing I did do, Craig. So I bought Warriors Abyss, right, the new one that came out, because and I've sort of talked this on the podcast before. If you buy it directly from Steam, no questions asked, they will refund you if you've played less than 2 hours. So you can. So I bought Warriors Abyss. I played it for an hour. I was like, right, let's see if I like it. It was a pretty fun game. I actually think you'd really like it, Craig, because it's roguelite-y, but it's also more like a beat 'em up. It's not really like Vampire Survivors. It's more like just like a wavy arcade game. Like, it's pretty fun. But I was like, this is fun, but it's not £20 fun. I've played it. It works on Steam Deck. I like it. It'll keep my save, and then when it's on sale for a tenner, I'll buy it. Right? Because £20 nowadays, I don't think it's probably worth £20 for me personally, right? So got it refunded, got the refund 20 minutes later. And like, the thing about Steam is like, you can do that option. So if you've got a Steam Deck and you just want to see how a game runs, right? If I wanted to see how Avowed ran, I could buy it for £60, play it for under 2 hours. If I like it, keep playing it. I like the game, right? Money well spent. If I don't, or it doesn't run well, boom, not getting a refund request. I get it back straight away. And then for games that you know you like, so like, for example, Kingdom Hearts, I've watched videos, I know it runs well on deck, I know that I'll like it. You can go onto CD Keys and it's 75% off. It's £15. And it's like, just be the freedom to have games that range from 2006 to 2025, to have all access to see if it's any good, if they run, and being able to buy them. Like I said, if you go on there right now, I think I saw all the Deus Ex games for like £6. I think all of the Portal games are £1.84 for Portal 1 and Portal 2, which is ridiculous because that's less than a sandwich now. You know, like Batman Arkham Origins, I can't play it any other way because it's not on a store because the Xbox One licensing or whatever, right? It's $2.99. Like, if I don't like it, I'll get $2.99 back in 2 hours. I think you have 28 days to do that. And it's like such a better way to do it. Like, I think Xbox does quite a good job at refunds. Nintendo is the worst company in the world if you want to refund it. If you've looked at the game, you won't get it refunded. And PlayStation is more difficult, but not as difficult as Nintendo, but not as easy to get a digital refund as Xbox. And
Nintendo would be like, what's a refund?
They just don't do it unless the game is broken. They won't do it. So it's just one of those things where, as we've talked about on the show before, like, we're going to a much more digital future. So being able to just so freely, basically, like, if you look at my purchase history on Steam, it's hilarious because I'm just buying games, playing them for a little bit, and just see if they run okay, if I kind of like the vibe, and then selling them again and getting it back. Sorry, it's for someone like me who's quite an impulsive and indecisive person. It's fantastic. It suits me really well. But yeah, that was my little TED talk. But yeah, I'm fucking loving the Steam Deck at the moment. So some other games I played on Steam Deck. I played some more new Super Lucky's Tale. I got it in a Humble Bundle. Another great way to buy lots of games, Craig. I believe right now, Pengi, it's Capcom games. It's like pretty much all the fighting games, isn't it? For like £16.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
I was really disappointed when they did the Monster Hunter bundle. So it didn't have it did have like that 25% off stories or something, and I was like, yeah.
You just wait for another one because I got the Capcom bundle from 2 years ago, and that had Stories 2 and all of the DMC games and Strider and Bionic Commando, and I think it was £20 I paid, right? So they always come. You can piecemeal, right? But I got it on the Humble Bundle a little while ago. I've been replaying it again. Looks and runs fantastic on Steam Deck. I haven't played new Super Lucky, so I've played Super Lucky's Tale, and it's a lot more different than I thought it was. To be honest with you, I thought it was just the same game with like a little bit more content, but no, they've changed quite a lot. Of the intro is completely different. A lot of the early levels have been completely different so far, so it's really good. It's a really good little fun platform. It's available on everything, and it's always on sale cheap. So if you don't want to buy it on PC, I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass. It's really good, and I think if you buy it on PC, you get.
But almost 1,000, well, more than 1,000G, both versions on Xbox, but not quite.
Yeah, and it does. I don't know about Xbox, but on Steam, if you redeem or buy new Super Lucky's Tale, you also get Super Lucky's Tale and Lucky's Tale added to your library. It did the same for Ori. When you buy Ori Definitive Edition, it gives you Ori Standard Edition. I think Xbox does that for that, but just a heads up, right? So usually with Steam games, if they've done like a re-release of it, and it's just one thing, you get all of the games. So if you want to play the VR version, which is Lucky's Tale, and then you want to play Super Lucky's Tale, and then you want to play new Super Lucky's Tale, you have access to all of them. So it does the same for DMC. I've got 2 copies of DMC5. They're slightly different. But yeah, really enjoying that. And the last thing I've been playing, Craigo, is the Fatal Fury beta. played it on Steam Deck. We watched the video, and I remember me and you being like, all of us being like, kind of looks kind of fugly, right? Kind of a fugly looking game. In actual person, on like, especially on Steam Deck, it's a very good looking game. Really good art style, like runs really well. A very smooth fighting game. And I was quite impressed actually, and hence why I bid it on Fantasy Critic and got it, because right from under your noses, I think it cost me $1. Loki quite looking forward to. I don't know how they're going to integrate Ronaldo into this, if I'm honest, but I can't.
Cristiano.
Oh yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh,
he is in. He is in it. It's the so the Saudi prince that owns the Saudi Pro League. They've built like an esports city of like Sky, and he's like huge into games. Look it up, Craig. It's wild. They're like weird.
No, I can imagine.
They've
Yeah.
literally built a city for like esports gamers, and like there's like a big arena. Like it's wild. But he's really into it, so it's a fun game. It's SNK. Hey, if that gets you a better game because it's funded, boy, put Cristiano in it. But yeah, I'm actually low-key quite excited for this. It's another one of those genres that's on a really big comeback now. I think fighting games are massive now. I think there's not many genres from back in the day that haven't had a resurgence, but this fighting games are very strong. So yeah, very impressed with the demo. Think I might pick it up, but I don't know if it's a launch one or if I let the net code get sorted out a bit and then I'll pick it up. But yeah, very impressive. And that has been my week so far. I anticipate lots more Steam Deck next week on Dave on Deck.
Nice. It's good that you are loving your deck now, Dave.
It feels like me and you with our second chances, Pengi. Because I think you've already played your laptop more than you played your last laptop.
Most probably.
And
it's like Football Manager.
Football Manager doesn't count, Pengi. We know that that's not a game. That's an addiction. As again, like my hours will tell you. But I think you've played your laptop more than you ever have. I've played my Steam Deck more than I played my Steam Deck. And to be honest with you, Craig's played his PS5 a lot more than he played his PS4. So maybe we're just different people now. Maybe we're more mature.
Yeah.
Should we go with that, Craig? Or Xbox?
Why not?
Xbox and Nintendo have pissed us all off, so we just don't play on them anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, why, Daddy Spencer? Why? But that's the week, boys. So if you got this far, thank you for watching. Put in the comment section what you've played and if you own a Steam Deck, because I want to know. I want to know when I can start getting these more portable pappies. Portable pappies is what we need to be, boys. So we'll get your back.
You could also comment what weapon you're going to main on Monster Hunter.
What weapon for Monster Hunter? What are you going to do? How are you going to play Monster Hunter? And obviously Pengi will be around, so if you want to play Pengi, you can add him. He'll play with you. He will be at the front slashing at something, so I would recommend going ranged when you play with Pengi, which I believe is a strategy Craig has used to great effect in previous games. Especially shooting Pengi in the back with a paralyzer is a pretty fun thing to do throughout a game, because he doesn't know it's you until it's too late. But yes, thank you for watching the show, and we will see you next week for some Pokemon and indie talk.
Bye.